Greetings, travelers. It's Ed with the Cruise Planners Getaway Gang with another Monday Sunset Talks. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about sunsets, but let me tell you why. So in order to do that, we'll have to jump right into a tropical update. So let's jump right in with a tropical update, shall we? Right now in the Atlantic, we have Tropical Depression 4. Tropical Depression 4 is a subtropical depression. It formed outside of the tropics, north of it, so they call it a subtropical, and it's going to be moving northeast very slowly, and probably won't develop much. If it does, it will become Tropical Storm Dolly, the fourth named storm of the year. So we'll keep an eye on that one for you throughout the week, but it doesn't seem to be posing much threat to land anytime soon. However, in the Pacific, we have two tropical waves just west of the coast of Central America. They're going to be possibly developing. The National Weather Service Hurricane Center gives it about better than 40 to 60% chance for both of these storms to develop into tropical storms. Out in Hawaii, not much going on in the Central Pacific region. But what I really wanted to talk about was this abnormally large dust cloud that's flying right across the Atlantic right now, coming from Sahara. What's happening right now is Sahara this time of year gets huge dust storms, and it pushes dust from the sands of the desert way up into the sky, and the easterly jet stream over there pulls it across. The trade winds blow it all the way across the Atlantic Ocean. This happens every year, and this is why you have golden sunsets in Florida and around the Gulf Coast areas this time of year. Why is this one so special? Because it's huge. I mean, this thing is massive, and it hasn't stopped feeding itself over the last week. It just keeps adding to it and adding to it. So it's one of the biggest, some meteorologists say it's the biggest one we've had in 50 years. So it's substantial. It's making its way across the Atlantic, and it's supposed to hit the Gulf Coast in a few more days, about midweek. Now, one thing you need to worry about this, when these dust particles, which are really high in the sky, if they mingle with pollution and smoke, ozone, things like that, it can wreak havoc on your air in your city. So if you are sensitive to respiratory issues, if you've got asthma, things like that, when this thing hits, it could be a health risk for you. And if you're battling with COVID-19 as well. But speaking of sunsets, I'm going to bring you a list here about 10 ways to enjoy a perfect sunset. Number 1, with a partner. There's nothing more romantic than a stroll or a sit and bask or in the sunset. It's just a beautiful time, and it's very tranquil, and you can have some very good conversations. My wife and I used to go on a golf course by our house every night, bring a blanket, would stretch out and just soak up at sunset. So that's number 1. Number 2, with friends. Maybe you want to grab a few drinks and some buddies and head over to the park or the beach, watch a sunset. It's always a great time. Number 3, with the camera. One of the most popular things to do for an amateur photographer is take pictures of the sunset. So if you are a little bit of a shutterbug, grab a tripod, grab your favorite camera, go out, set up, and then just wait for that perfect shot. Number 4, with exercise. There's a great scene in Forrest Gump where he's jogging along and taking a look at that sunset off in the distance. You can see some of the most amazing sunsets when you're out and about jogging along or biking, bicycling, walking, whatever, just doing a little bit of exercise, even doing some yoga during the sunset or stretches or anything. Number 5, with libations. In the summertime, you'll probably want a cooler drink, maybe a glass of lemonade. Iced tea is good. In the wintertime, nothing better than a nice warm cup of coffee while the air is getting colder around you, or maybe a hot cocoa even. Number 6, on a road trip. Now this is something that I have absolutely etched into my memory, and that's driving west, watching the sun set in front of me. After it blinded me for about an hour being in the west, and I'm going due west, but then once it finally started going down, it was a beautiful sunset, and you can watch twilight behind you in your rearview mirror just kind of cresting over you as the night's just chasing you down the road. And it's great going the other way too. If you're heading east, watching the sunset behind you, watching that night come up, that's just something else. Number 7, this goes without saying, on a beach. Some of the best sunsets I've ever seen were on a beach. The sun setting in the background, watching that beautiful orange ball drop below the horizon and those waves crashing on the beach. There's no finer scene for a sunset. Number 8, on a boat. If you've never done this, if you've never experienced it, even if you might have even gone on a cruise and never experienced a sunset, do yourself a favor next time you're on a cruise or on a boat, or you've got a friend that's got a boat, go out in the middle of it, watch the sun go down, watch the stars come out. Absolutely breathtaking. Number 9, in a plane. This one's fun. Sometimes if you're up in the plane and there's no clouds, you can watch the sunset actually move across the ground, watch the shadows go if you're in a window seat. So it's pretty neat to check out. Number 10, finally, by yourself. It's great. Good time to reflect, get some maybe some prayers, some meditation, or just reflect on the day. It's a great time to just take it all in. And there's a lot of people who say that there's some of the best energies of the day come at sunset. So if you're into that sort of thing, it's a great time to absorb all those energies. Otherwise, just reflect on the day. It's a good time to just take it all in. Speaking of taking it all in, hope you guys enjoyed it today, and I will see you next week. Take care and have a great week.